There's something about films like Hocus Pocus that seem to radiate a certain type of aesthetic that doesn't seem to be made too often anymore. And if it is, it tends to be on a streaming service instead, and it doesn't get enough views, it doesn't get enough people taking a look at it. And I certainly don't feel like getting any of those things. And I'm talking about films like Hocus Pocus, like Hook, like Casper the Friendly Ghost, like Jumanji. I mean the original Jumanji, not the newer ones that kind of lost the aesthetic of that original Jumanji. There is an aesthetic that doesn't seem to be replicated as often anymore. They try, they do, they certainly try with a lot of things. There's a show called Stranger Things that tries to capture an aesthetic, but they added the horror element into it. This is a kind of spooky element, but it was in no way ever scary. Hocus Pocus felt like a Goosebumps episode, kind of like the Clay video I just did. Hocus Pocus feels like a Goosebumps type of aesthetic. That type of thing that has a horror element, but it is never in no way scary. It tends to instead take itself in a fun way. It's a fun movie. Hocus Pocus may not be a good movie. Of course, the Sanders sisters are doing a Three Stooges impression, and most of the story is just them doing fish out of water jokes a mile a minute, going all over the place whenever they're on screen, and the rest of the story doesn't feel as impactful as it used to be when you watched this in the 90s as a kid, and I get it. When I was a kid, when I watched this in the late 90s, over and over on cable television, on VHS tape, I loved the movie. I didn't get most of the adult jokes, of course. How the Sanders sisters say they want children, and the bus driver says it may take me a couple tries, but I think I can handle it. It's it's something that you have to grow up to understand when you rewatch this film. Hocus Pocus is not good, but it's fun. And sometimes that's all a movie needs to be. Fun. We need movies like these. We need more movies like these made. Something that doesn't need to be deep. That doesn't need to be a superhero film either. But just a story that doesn't take itself way too seriously. And the people in it are looking like they are having a whole lot of fun with the material. When you look at the Sanderson sisters, when they're on screen, every line of dialogue between all three of them, they are having a blast. They are having so much fun in these roles, and that fun radiates off the screen to the viewer. Now, viewer enjoyment of a film is highly subjective. Every film is subjective. Roger Ebert, he didn't like Fight Club, and I think he didn't like this film either, but a lot of people did like Fight Club. A lot of people did like Hocus Pocus, You don't have to agree with all the critics, and the critics don't have to agree with films that you like, It's an incredibly subjective space that, even if the whole world seems to be against the movie that you love, so long as you love it, so long as you have fun watching it, that makes it worth it, that makes it worth the watch. All of these reviews and all of these critiques and by all these people, it's opinions, we're given our opinions and our impressions of the film, and it could either make or break your interest in wanting to go watch it, especially if you respect the opinion of somebody. But sometimes you may disagree, and go like, I disagree with the consensus that a lot of people don't like this film. Critics may not like Hocus Pocus, but the audience likes Hocus Pocus. Why is that? Is it because simple fun seems to be so incredibly infectious that a film doesn't necessarily need to be blockbustery deep to be fun? Sometimes we just want to pop in a movie and, you don't have to pay too much attention to what's going on. The jokes land. You may laugh at a couple of them, but it radiates a certain level of fun. Especially the music, man. Music plus the scenery builds an atmosphere. The sets and scenery, there's an atmosphere going on, kind of like putting on a Looney Tunes episode. You're not paying too much attention to the Looney Tunes episode, but the music along with the sound effects, it's got that fun vibe that when you're paying attention to it, you could enjoy yourself. You really can. Hocus Pocus has a lot of plot holes. There's a lot of characters that go absolutely nowhere. So a lot of characters don't even need to be in this movie, and nothing would change at all. There's this zombie dude, Billy, I think his name is, whom she kissed when she was younger, and then he dated her, and then in retaliation he cut his head off or killed him or something, and she brought him back to life as a zombie to chase the main characters who have stolen her book, her spell book, around the place, and it's, it kind of gives off the vibes of a TMNT2, Secrets of the Ooze type of aesthetic. There's a musical number in the middle of the film that feels like Vanilla Ice's Go Ninja Go Ninja Go. It just comes out of nowhere, but I don't give a crap. It's fun. The zombie has no reason to be here, but he's like Bebop and Rocksteady in Secrets of the Ooze. They just show up to get in the way for a little bit, and then they go away, and it's fun. I have a lot of fun and fond memories watching both Hocus Pocus and TMNT2 Secrets of the Ooze. Are these films good? No. But they're fun. I have a lot of fun with them. I smile almost all the time when I'm watching them. But definitely TMNT1, the original TMNT, is way better than TMNT2. There's no contest. TMNT original is actually a really good film that I've seen almost 100 times in my lifetime. I've seen that movie almost 100 times. I'm going to have to talk about that movie at some point. But Hocus Pocus definitely has that energy of Secrets of the Ooze. And Secrets of the Ooze is a fun movie. You can watch that movie. You can have a lot of fun. You could go like, okay, this is definitely a step down from the type of aesthetic that they used to have. But it's way better than TMNT3, the time travel one. It's way better than that one. You could definitely think that. Yeah, right? And that is my opinion, that Hocus Pocus is like TMNT2 Secrets of the Ooze. Not a great film, but it's a fun film. And fun is always a good thing in my book. If a film can be watched and you can be entertained by it, you can have fun with it, then it does its job. It does what it was there to do. It entertained you. It entertained a lot of people, apparently, because there's now a sequel that's a Disney Plus exclusive, and now they're gonna be making a third one. I guess you could say, can you say cash grab? Nostalgic cash grab? Yeah, you could probably say that. But the original one, at least, this one is like Hook. This one is like Casper. This one is like Jumanji. It's got that 90s energy about it. It's got that soundtrack that when you hear it, you know exactly what era you've just put into your player, and you can go back in time to when you were in the 90s and just feel that energy again. And that, my friends, is priceless.